Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So today I thought we would all share in the glories of a very, very beautiful prayer to Sri Krishna, which is the Govindashtakam, a set of 8 very beautiful verses composed by the great teacher, the great Guru, Sri Adi Shankaracharya, in praise of Sri Krishna. And how this prayer came to be, how Adi Shankaracharya came to compose this very beautiful prayer is a very interesting data, very interesting pastime in itself. So I'll start with that first, and then we will proceed to the verses of the Govindashtakam and the translation. So it happened that this Leela, this pastime, this relates to the temple of Guruvayur in Kerala, in the south of Bharat. So it so happened that on one particular Guruvayur Ekadashi day, now we know there are 24 Ekadashis in a year, and every Ekadashi has its own importance, its own significance, and every Ekadashi is equally holy, equally sacred. But as far as the temple of Guruvayur is concerned, the Ekadashi that occurs in the brighter half of the month, the traditional Indian month, which goes from mid-November to mid-December. So the Ekadashi that occurs in the brighter half of that month, the Shukla Paksha Ekadashi, when the moon grows bigger and bigger and finally approaches Purnima. So the Ekadashi that occurs in the brighter half of that month is especially sacred with regards to the temple of Guruvayur, and hence it is popularly known as Guruvayur Ekadashi. So on one such Guruvayur Ekadashi day, many centuries ago, the great Guru, the great teacher, Sri Adi Shankaracharya, he happened to be passing by Guruvayur on that particular day. Now he, by virtue of his prayers and by virtue of his pure meditation, he had the yogic powers of flying, like literally gliding across the sky. No ordinary human being can do that, but by virtue of his prayers and meditation, the powers that he got by virtue of those prayers, he was able to transport himself across the sky in that manner. So he happened to be traveling, and it happened to be the day of Guruvayur Ekadashi. And on the way, he met Devarishi Narada. And they both had a conversation during which Devarishi Narada asked Adi Shankaracharya, today is such a beautiful day, it's such an auspicious day. Are you not going to visit Guruvayur and pay your respects to the Lord, because it was Guruvayur Ekadashi? And now, although Adi Shankaracharya was such a great person, he was such a great guru, such a great teacher, he had this very, very tiny bit of pride in his mind. And the Lord does not like even the slightest amount of pride in his devotees. He wishes to destroy that pride immediately. And the way Adi Shankaracharya responded seemed to indicate a little bit of indifference. Okay, I always come by. I can go and visit the Lord anytime. He won't mind. That time, of course, he did not actively mean, and he would never actively mean any kind of disrespect to the Lord. But on that day, his response happened to be so. And the moment he said that, he lost all the power that kept him afloat, that kept him flying in the sky, and he dropped all the way down to the earth. And where he fell was right in front of the elephant that carries the Utsavamurti or festive deity of the Lord during the daily temple processions inside the Guruvayur temple. And every single devotee who was present there saw what had happened. They saw Adi Shankaracharya falling down in front of the Lord. And the procession, understandably, it stopped right there. And Adi Shankaracharya, he realized his mistake. He begged the Lord for forgiveness and he asked the Lord to forgive his mistakes, his ignorance, his pride. And on that very spot and that very moment, he spontaneously composed the very, very beautiful prayer, which today we know as Govindashtakam. And not only that, while blessing Adi Shankaracharya, the Lord also instructed the Guru to stay at the temple for a period of 41 days, spending the time in prayer and meditation, and asked him to draw up a proper plan, proper schedule of daily pujas and rituals, which till date are being strictly adhered to, strictly followed. Not a single deviation is accepted. So the schedule that Adi Shankaracharya put together was gathered later on into a book called the Tantra Samuchayam, and the Tantris or the hereditary priests, they are the chief priests of the temple. So there is a hierarchy. The Tantri is at the top of the hierarchy of priests. So he is the highest authority on every temple matter with regards to any puja or any matter of worship or offering. The Tantri is the highest authority. And the most important rituals in the temple, whether daily rituals or special rituals during festivals, these are performed by the Tantri. So, yes, so all the guidelines that Adi Shankaracharya put together were compiled together in a book called the Tantra Samuchayam. And there is a family of Tantris called the Chenas Nambudri family in Kerala, and it is the male members of this family who hereditarily become Tantris at the Guruvayur temple. So their name is always prefixed with the name of the family. So they are called, say for example, Chenas Krishna Nambudri or Chenas Keshava Nambudri, whatever their name is. Nambudri is a title indicating their community, and Chenas is the name of the family. So yes, that is how the Govindashtakam came into being. And now I would like to share the verses of this very, very beautiful Govindashtakam along with the translation. So we'll first go through the verses together and then we'll look at the translation. Prabhuji, I would like just one more minute. I just want to.
No problem. I'll pause.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. I'll share my screen now. Here we go. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It's my pleasure and blessing to be able to share this very beautiful prayer.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's really good. Amazing.
Thank you very much. Oh. Satyam Jnanamanantam Nityamanakasham Paramakasham Satyam Jnanamanantam Nityamanakasham Paramakasham Goshtha Prangadarinkanalolam Anayasam Paramayasam Maya Kalpitananakaram Bhuvanakaram Kshmayanatham Pranamata Govindam Paramaanandam Mritsnamat सीहेति यशोदा ताडन शैशव संत्रासं व्यारितवक्त्रालोकित लोकालोक चतुर्दश लोकालिम् लोकत्रयपुरमूलस्तम्भं लोकालोकमनालोकं लोकेशं परमेशं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् त्रयीविष्टपरिपुवीरघ्नं क्षितिभारघ्नं भवरोगघ्नं कैवल्यं नवनीताहारमनाहारं भुवनाहारं वैमल्यस्फुटचेतो वृत्ति विशेषाभासम् अनाभासं शैवं केवलशान्तं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् गोपालं प्रभुलीला विग्रह गोपालं कुलगोपालं गोपीखेलन गोवर्धन धृत लीलालालित गोपालं गोभिर्निगदित गोविन्द स्फुटनामानं बहुनामानं गोपी गोचरतोरं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् गोपीमण्डल गोष्ठीभेदं भेदावस्थम् अभेदाभं शश्वद्गोखुरनिर्धूतोद्धत धूलीधूसर सौभाग्यम् श्रद्धा भक्ति गृहीतानन्दम् अचिन्त्यं चिन्तित सद्भावम् चिन्तामणि महिमानं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् स्नानं व्याकुलयोषित् वस्त्रमुपादायागमुपारूढम् व्यादित्सन्ति रथदिग्वस्त्रादातुमुपाकर्षन्तम् ताः निर्धूतद्वयशोकविमोहं बुद्धं बुद्धेरन्तस्थम् सत्तामात्रशरीरं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् कान्तं कारणकारणमादिमनादिं कालमनाभासम् कालिन्दीगतकालीय शिरसि नृत्यन्तं कालं कालकलातीतं कलिताशेषं कलिदोषघ्नं कालत्रयगतिहेतुं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् वृन्दावन भुवि वृन्दारकगण वृन्दाराधित वन्देऽहम् कुन्दाभावन मन्दस्मिरसुधानन्दं सुहृदानन्दं वन्द्याशेषमहामुनिमानस वन्द्यानन्दपदद्वन्द्वम् वन्द्याशेषगुणाभिं प्रणमत गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दम् गोविन्दाष्टकमेतद् अधीते गोविन्द Govindarpita Chetaya Govinda Achyuta Madhava Vishnu Gokulanayaka Krishneti Govindam Sarojadhana Sudha Jaladhauta Samastogha Govindam Paramaanandam Antastham Satamabheti Iti Srimad Shankaracharya Virachitam Shri Govindashtakam
Amazing. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Would you like to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
So, verse 1. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, truth and knowledge, who is infinite, free of any attributes, who is the ultimate, most brilliant light, who delighted in crawling around amongst the cows in the cowshed as a child, who is free from all troubles, but appears to be in difficulties due to his own illusory Maya, who appears in multiple forms as a result of his Maya, who's the embodiment of the entire universe, who's the Lord of Lakshmi and Bhumi, and who has no Lord himself. Worship Govinda, who's the supreme bliss, who showed the fear of a child when scolded by his mother Yashoda for having consumed fistfuls of mud, in whose open mouth were seen the 14 worlds, both visible and invisible, who is unseen, who is the foundation and the master of the universe, and is the supreme Lord. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, who destroyed the mighty enemies of the Devas, and thus reduced the unbearable weight borne by the earth, who frees devotees from the miseries of birth and death, who consumed butter, though never in need of any food, who swallowed the universe during Pradaya, who shines brilliantly in a pure and clear mind, and who cannot be revealed in any other manner, who is wholly auspicious and always calm and peaceful. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, who is the protector of the universe, who appeared as Gopala, the protector of the cows and the Yadava race, and performed divine leelas, who lifted the Govardhana mountain on his little finger and delighted the gopis and the gopas, whose name, Govinda, is clearly mentioned and praised in scriptures and uttered by even the cows, and who has many, many names. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, who is present amongst various groups of gopis, who appears in many different forms, yet is one, whose beautiful form is covered by the auspicious dust raised by the hooves of the cows, and which bestows good fortune, who is realized only by pure devotion and faith, who is beyond ordinary imagination, but is known to the wise and the virtuous, who is the personification of the great wish-fulfilling gem called Chintamani. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, who climbed up a tree, apparently stealing the clothes of the nervous gopis who were busily engaged in a bath in the river, but in reality, who stole their negative tendencies with the intention of bringing them spiritually closer to himself, who is free from all kinds of duality, grief, and delusion, who is wise and who dwells in the intellect, and who is pure existence itself. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, who is mesmerizingly beautiful, who is the root cause of all, who is the source of everything, but is himself without any beginning, who danced beautifully on the hoods of the serpent Kalia that inhabited the waters of the river Kalindi, who is the manifestation of time, but who is beyond the limits of time, who knows everything, who is the destroyer of the evils of Kali, and who controls the motion of the three dimensions of time. Worship Govinda, who is the supreme bliss, who dwells in the sacred land of Vrindavan, that is worshipped and saluted by all, whose nectar like pure smile resembles the blossoming kunda flower, who is infinite joy, whose lotus feet are praised and worshipped by great sages and devotees, and who is the ocean of praiseworthy qualities. He who recites the Govindashtakam by fixing his mind on Govinda, uttering the holy names of Govinda, Achyuta, Madhava, Vishnu, Gokulanayaka, Krishna, gets all his sins washed off by meditating on the lotus feet of Govinda, and eventually attains Govinda himself, the nectar of supreme bliss. Hare Krishna. That's all, Prabhuji.
Well done. Amazing prayer. Thank you so much. Any questions, any comments by anybody? Anybody like to know more? Okay, thank you.